Right, so just going to do a quick kind of overview. It's not really a review because I haven't even opened it, but an overview of Asda Professional Folding Pruning Saw. You get these in Asda's for £3.98, which is very cheap for a folding saw. What I do, I'll bring the camera a bit closer so we can have a closer look at it. But I went shopping last night, and then while I was in there I saw this and I thought, well, for £4, you know, I can get 2p change, might as well get one. I'll bring this closer and we'll have a proper look at it. Right, so that's the saw in the packet. I'll open it up in a minute. So £4, apparently professional folding pruning saw, guaranteed 5 years. Says high quality SK5 grade steel blade, triple ground razor sharp teeth, folding blade with double action safety lock to prevent accidental closure, contoured moulded handle for use with garden gloves. And you got some pruning guide about this product: approximate dimensions, blade length 20 centimeters, care instructions, wipe sap from the blade after use, wash product with mild soap and water, rinse thoroughly, dry completely, lightly oil periodically, store inside when not in use. So £4 for that, or you know, roughly £4. While I'm not necessarily encouraging everyone to buy everything cheap, because I kind of had this conversation the other day about budget or cheap stuff, you know, I'm not encouraging everyone to forsake better quality things to just buy cheap things, but sometimes it's, you know, you can't beat some things for the price, and depending on your situation and what you're doing, you may only be able to afford stuff like this. Or for example, if you was going to leave a kit somewhere, you're not going to want to leave all expensive stuff places, so something like this would be ideal. So that's a saw. And also, you know, if you're just starting off and you're not sure whether you're going to like it, you know, you might not want to buy really expensive gear. Or if you was making a couple of kits, like bug out kits or survival kits to put in a car or something, you may not want to spend a massive amount of money on things which you may never use or very rarely use, you know. But if you go in places every week or something, or for extended periods, and you might want to go for something a bit more pricier. But then again, it's, you know, it's all personal preference. So you got this button on the back. It is plastic. Oh, it locks in. And locks out. Also seems to lock there as well. Perhaps that's so that if it closed up, which I think it said double locking, if it closed up, it locks around about there to probably stop it going onto your hand. It's actually a pretty clever idea. To hold that down, that's your blade. Apparently SK5 steel, whatever that is. It's relatively thin, but then most of these blades are, because most of them are pull cut saws, and by the looks of this, this is a pull cut saw as well. I'm just trying to look inside where this metal goes. Looks to me as though the metal lining here stops about there, and this is just plastic. I don't know how strong it will be, but it is just plastic. Now, I have seen someone with one of these before, or a similar one, and it had snapped about here. But to be honest, they just carried on using it, holding it like this, as a small one-hand, you know, as a small one-handed saw like that. But you know, for the price, I never saw it snap, so I don't know how it actually snapped, whether it was misuse or not. But I have seen someone with a similar, I can't say it was an asda saw, but a similar saw like this, and it was snapped them up there. But that could be all sorts of things. It feels pretty good in the hand. It's got this good bit here, you know, for your hand to go against there, and a bit there as well. But you're more than likely going to use your saw down there, if you ask me. Seems to, you know, with light knocking, seems to stay there in place. So it opens to there as well when you open it. I have had a similar saw like this before. It was from Lidl, but it was similar but different colours. This was bright yellow, I think black, and the button was black. But they've done this one kind of outdoorsy colours, I suppose. Like I said, it feels pretty good in the hand. It's got a bit of weight to it. The proper test, I suppose, will be taking it down the woods and using it to actually cut wood. I probably won't be doing that today, but I will do that sometime. I'm just going to read you some of these instructions. It says, when opening the folding saw, release the tension clip on top of the handle. Open the saw fully away from your body until at full extension. Lock the saw in place by closing the tension clip. It must be that. Always ensure that the blade is securely locked into place, sharp and undamaged prior to use. To close, reverse instructions. Beware of trapping fingers. Always ensure that the saw is in the closed position when not in use. Blade is suitable for use on timber only. The only other saw I've got to compare this with is 3 other cheap saws similar to this and a Silky Gomtaro. But if it cuts, you know, anything as good as that, then for £4, you know, you really can't, you know, what can you say? One thing I did find with one of my other saws is, just an example, the Silky saw, and every Silky saw I've ever had, stays sharp for an unbelievable amount of time, whereas my other kind of one of these, the yellow one, after a while it got dull. You know, it was fairly heavily used, but it got, you know, whereas the Silky saws was still sharp for 5 times the amount of time, you know. So what I'll do is, when I get a chance, I'll take this down the woods and give it a go. I just thought I'd show you like a initial impressions. Oh, the grip here is pretty nice. It's kind of rubberized grip there. This is like hard plastic. You got lanyard hole as well. Right, not much else I can say right now because this is just an initial look at it. Other than, you know, when I get down the woods, I'll give it a go. One other thing, you have got at least a screw here, or a bolt here, what looks like it can actually be tightened if need be. Right, cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.